Okay, everybody, the fifth and final money block that we are going to talk about in this series of money blocks that you did not even know that you had is going to be wanting something for nothing. So, in a previous video, we had discussed the law of compensation, and money is an exchange, right? So, we need to make sure that we understand that. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to work super duper hard in order to earn the money that we desire. But we can't expect to just sit and money for it to just come for absolutely nothing, if that makes sense. So we do need to provide a service, right? We need to find something. So if we recall the law of compensation, the first part is that there is a need for what you do. Okay, so whatever it is that you're doing. Now, the wonderful thing is, who gets to decide if there's a need for what you do? You decide if there's a need for what you do. You don't need Joe Schmo down the street to tell you that what you are doing is of value and that it is needed in the world, because they guarantee every single thing that people are doing out there, there is a need for it. Okay, so whatever it is that you are currently doing, does this mean that you have to work even harder at what you're doing? No, but you have to expect to provide some sort of service in exchange for money. Right? It is an exchange. There is energy in and energy out. Money is just energy. Okay? So making sure that we understand that aspect of it. So is there a need for what you do? What is the amount of that need? Now, here's where we had talked about before our beliefs, right? Here's where our beliefs can really help us in this area. Because the thing is, you are the person who has to believe that there's a need for what you do. Sorry, this dry air. So it only matters what you think. So as long as you believe that there is an absolute need for what you do, then it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you. You have to 100% believe there is a need. So no matter what it is that you are doing, it is needed. You could be working at I don't know, the first thing that popped in my head is McDonald's, right? Clearly, there's a need for that. People love McDonald's. People are going there all the time. There has to be people there serving the customers as they're coming, right? If you are a CEO in a big company, obviously there's a need for what you're doing. It's a big company for a reason, because whatever service that company is providing, people have needed it. So it can span this huge spectrum, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. I guarantee you there is a need for it, or you wouldn't be doing it. Okay, so let's take that first part of the law of compensation and just already say, yes, there's a need for what I do. Now, the second part is, how good are you at doing it? So this is where your value comes in. So I encourage you, whatever it is that you're doing, to try to charge based on the value instead of just the time itself, right? So if we stick with that, the common mantra, trading dollars for trading hours for dollars, you are only going to get so far, right? So instead, look at the value increase that you are providing somebody, right? So for example, if you have your own business, and you are giving somebody something that they are going to be able to use over and over and over and over, and it's going to help them in exponential ways, and it's going to help them create more income, and it's going to help them to do something else, then your value that you are providing is huge. Okay, so make sure that you are charging based on your value you're giving, rather than just a dollar hourly amount, if that makes sense. So we have a need for what we do. We are giving exceptional value because you are really good at what you're doing, right? These are the things that are going to be most important in being able to set up and get an exchange for what you're providing. So we are not looking to get something for nothing, right? That is like, for example, if somebody wins the lottery, how often do we see that people who win the lottery do not end up staying wealthy? They may burn through that money very quickly. They're not going to keep it. There are many times we're not investing it, we're not utilizing it correctly. So because they don't know how, right? And they haven't earned it through something that they've done, right? So there's just not this continuity. It is not a wealth that has grown over time. That is not a wealth that they have put in a lot of effort or work for in any regard. So there's not really an exchange of service there. That was just something that came. So you can see how so often this is not sustainable. This does not get people, like, they don't win the lottery and then they never have to work again in their life. Like, that is not what we're trying to say here. So when we're looking at this block, this idea that if I just think it, if I just feel it, if I just whatever, then it'll just come to me and I don't have to do anything in exchange for it. So I want to remove that idea, because we do have to provide some type of service, right? Now, the beautiful part is you don't have to work hundreds of hours. You don't have to work, 80, 100-hour weeks in order to get an amount that you can live off of and that you can feel good about and that you can be prosperous and wealthy. That is not it at all. So that's why we're going to look at the value of what you're providing, the service that you're providing, how much value is in it, that you are helping somebody else, right? So you're giving somebody more in use value than what you're even charging them. And that, my friends, is what is going to also help to release the resistance of this prosperity that is trying to come to you, right? That is the point of all these money blocks, all these places where we have put roadblocks in to stop the flow of well-being and wealth from coming to us. It is there, it is trying to get to you, but you are stopping it in some way or another. So that's why we've been going through this series and we've been talking about all these different ways in which we are stopping that flow. So to recap some of the things we've talked about in previous videos, just to make sure we really understand, is we've discussed how holding on too tightly and trying to force things to happen is going to put a block. You are going to stop it. You are not allowing it to happen, right? So we're holding on from this place of need and want, and we're not living from the belief and knowing that it's already there. We just have to release the resistance to it, right? So holding on too tightly, looking at our thoughts, our words. What are we saying when we talk about money? Are we instantly going to, that's too expensive, we could never afford that, I wish I could do this, but I'll never be able to. So what words are you saying? And then look at your beliefs that you hold deep inside. What are your beliefs around money? Have you been told things like money doesn't grow on trees, or it's wrong to be greedy and desire more? So is there shame that you've developed through the years by wanting to have prosperity and wealth? So look at all these things and begin to uncover them. You'll start to see these blocks popping up to where you are stopping yourself from this beautiful wealth, this beautiful prosperity that is trying to get to you. And then finally, we talked today about the, wanting something for nothing and understanding that money is an exchange. It's an energetic exchange. So we are exerting some form of energy. Does that mean that we need to be exhausted in the process and that we need to be burnt out and pushing ourselves really hard beyond what we're actually capable of doing in order to earn money? Absolutely not. It just means that we have to be providing some type of service. And the beautiful part is, when you are coming from a place of service in whatever your line of work is, and you're truly doing whatever it is because you care about the person you're trying to serve, because you really want to help them in some way, because you want to see them live a prosperous life, because you want to see them feeling better, whatever it is that you're providing, money is just going to come to you. You don't have to push for it. If you are coming from that place where you are not focusing on sales and you are not focusing on what the money is and you are not focusing on, I need to get this person to do X, Y, or Z so that I can get money from them. If you're focusing fully, pushing yourself aside and thinking about how can I best serve this person in front of me, then the money is going to come, because you are activating the law of compensation. You are putting yourself aside. You are allowing the flow of wealth and money to come to you. You are not pushing. You are not striving. You are not forcing. You are not trying to manipulate things or people in order to get what you desire. And that is when things are going to flow freely. So take all of these ideas into account. There are so many more ways that we may be blocking the flow of prosperity to us and abundance. But these are some of the most important and some of the things that I see the most often. So I wanted to really touch on these here. And so to continue your journey, I invite you to follow, like, and subscribe. We have lots more wonderful content that's coming out week after week. I'm so excited to share it all with you. So be sure that you do that so that you don't miss any of the new wonderful things that are happening here in this beautiful community, and join us today.